Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bernard Canna. I'm the editor and photographer for the website known as The Photo Pit. We are here once again doing another series of interviews with rising talents that are going to be performing at the Blue Ridge Rock Festival that's going to be taking place September 9th through the 12th of 2021. This artist that we have with us here today, I found to be very unique. I immediately connected with one of his most recent songs. I absolutely loved it. And I think the fans of both Blue Ridge and anyone else who follows my website are going to love him too. I want to introduce everyone here to Awesome Ray Ray. How are you doing today?
What's up? What's up?
Hey, thanks for taking the time with us. I greatly appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you.
So why don't we start off with a little bit of an intro. Tell our listeners, viewers here a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? What area are you from? And there is something that I found that's very unique about you as an artist on the Blue Ridge lineup compared to a lot of everyone else. I'll see if you grab that in your intro. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, first off, my name is Awesome Ray Ray. I am from Arlington, Virginia, which to the rest of the country is basically DC. I mean, there are two separate areas, but when people aren't from here, I'm just like, I'm from DC, man. So I'm from the Washington, DC area, the DMV as it's known, but I hail from Virginia. I am a recording artist, a drummer, producer. I try to sing, more like screaming, So I do everything from blues to hip hop to rock, a little bit of EDM, pop, and then some country every now and then. But I'm all over the place. But I just believe in making good music. So.
Okay. And I'll agree. I think you do make very good music from the stuff that I've listened to so far. And the thing I said, that the one piece that I found that's unique for you compared to a lot of the other Blue Ridge artists is that you're a solo artist in this aspect. You do pretty much everything in your recording. Now I've seen in in one of your videos that I want to talk about in a minute, you have a guitarist with you, but for the most part, everything that you do is all you, right?
That's right.
Yeah, very cool. So tell me, how did you end up falling onto the Blue Ridge lineup? Like, what was it that made you decide to try to get on here?
Well, I've been a fan of Blue Ridge since the beginning. So a little bit of a backstory. About 3 years ago, I was touring in a part of a band called Year of the Locust.
I know that.
Long Island. Yep. So I'm the former drummer from that band. And we did the very first Blue Ridge when it was small and it was in a building in Lynchburg, Virginia. And at that time, we were also on tour with Puddle of Mud, Saving Abel, and Tantric, who are all great friends of mine. We met John there, and it was a great time. We had a great show. And then I forgot why we couldn't come back the next year. I think we were doing something else. And then ultimately, I stepped aside from the band to pursue my solo career. And in the back of my head, I was like, Blue Ridge was dope. I wonder how it's progressed since then. And I looked it up and I was like, whoa. I was like, it exploded. And I just reached out to John and Emily, who was absolutely amazing, and sent my stuff to them. And they had a meeting and they were like, hey, yeah, you're definitely going to be on board. And
awesome.
It just happened from there, man. So it's going to be my first festival as a solo artist. So I'm just ridiculously excited, about it, and a little nervous, but who wouldn't be? But, it's all going to be a good time. But that's how I linked up with those folks. And like I said, John, Emily, and everybody involved, John Phillips now, they're amazing people. They're great people. They love music. So how could I not want to be a part of something like that?
Yep, I hear you. That's very cool. I love that story. That's a very cool story. And it's interesting that you mentioned that you were part of the Year of the Locust, because now I'm gonna have to go back and look at my photos of the last time when I actually covered them at a show to see if you're actually in my pictures now, to see, it's like, is this the same guy?
It could be. It could be.
Could be.
Yeah, those are my bros, man. And actually, the lead singer and guitarist from Year of the Locust, Scotty Mack, he's actually going to be my guitarist for Blue Ridge. So
that's very cool.
We're still family, man. So
awesome. Good deal. Well, it's good to see that they're willing to help support you, and now your new solo career too. That's awesome. Very
Absolutely.
Cool. So let's talk about a little bit about your music. You had a video that was recently released. I absolutely love this song. I have to admit, it surprised me from, I think, I had certain, I will say maybe I had certain expectations of what I thought it was going to be, and it wasn't, and I loved it for that. So tell me a little bit about On the Run.
On the Run. dude, this has such a backstory, and I'll try to keep it short. So I actually wrote On the Run. Obviously, it's a fictitious story. But my mind kind of works like that as a songwriter. It's weird. When I'm writing a song, I'm immediately thinking about a music video. Sometimes, actually, believe it or not, On the Run was kind of written like a movie, you know what I mean, in my head. And that's kind of how it happened. But I was actually in Year of the Locust when I wrote that song, but I was at work. I got a background in law enforcement and security, and I was working a private security contract at an Amazon warehouse during like a terrible thunderstorm. So I just sat in my truck and I had my laptop and messing around with some guitar riffs. I have a little MIDI keyboard, and I just kind of spit out this story, and I started like almost screaming in this like gut curdling blues voice. And I was like, I've never made that noise before. I like it. And then fast forward, I sent it to a buddy of mine, Brian Bonds, who I met on tour with Tantric. He was playing for Tantric. Okay. Side note, Brian Bonds is one of the founding members of Florida Georgia Line. So he's up there, a great guy. And he, helped me curtail and did a lot of the production with the guitars. I flew out to LA, and literally I was going out on vacation, and I bumped into a guy that owned a studio called Studio City Sound. Okay. And that's where I cut the record. And that place, man, a lot of history at that studio. All the Cypress Hill guys are there all the time. Kelly Clarkson frequents that studio. So like, had my mind blown, but yeah, that's kind of how that song came to be, man. It was just a thought in my brain and a couple of screams in key, sort of. And, I was like, I'm gonna write this about a country outlaw, you know what I mean? That's on drugs and dealing with a crazy chick that steals his money, and he runs and has a shootout with the police. So
okay, so I will say that is a very cool story. And I will recommend for any of the fans, definitely I'm going to make sure we get that link to that video listed in this interview when we get this posted. I will say one of the things that I really loved about On the Run is the vocals that you put into that. As you're saying, like I've never had a voice like this before. Like, what's this sound? I loved it for that. That's what I think what gives it its charm, is absolutely the vocals behind it.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, it's crazy because, by trade, I'm a drummer. I'm 33. I've been playing drums since I was like 3 years old. And then I rapped for a pop band out of Virginia for a little bit. Okay. And then it was totally different. But like I said, as soon as I was sitting in my truck and, and I was like, ooh, yeah. And I was like, ooh, yeah. And then I said, this is going to be a crazy one, isn't it? I actually say that.
It is.
And then it just happened, bro. It just happened like that. It all came together. Some divine plan, I believe. So
yeah, and I love it. It's a great tune. I love the vibe. I love the feel. It's very bluesy, which I think really fits. The video was pretty cool to go along with that. It kept that whole scene story all together all at once. So it's like it's good stuff. Absolutely good stuff. Yeah. Hopefully you're performing that at Blue Ridge. I'm sure that's going to be a good one. People will love that. Maybe, right? Just maybe. So now, interesting, you kind of mentioned, you talk about, a plan, because I want to get a little more on a serious note with regards to other music that you wrote. And I'll be honest, for those who've seen me do interviews before, it's not often I talk about, an artist's songs that kind of grabs me to the point of like, wow, like emotionally grabs me. This song emotionally grabbed me. And this track was called Therapy. And Ray, I want you to kind of talk a little bit about the story behind it, because when I first read, the opening that's on the video, it just absolutely hit me hard. And it hit me hard for the fact of, what was there, what the purpose was it behind it, why you wrote it, and the lyrics and everything that goes with it was just kind of like that complete package. So tell our fans a little bit more about this story.
So Therapy. Honestly, I thought, because it gets so deep into my personal life that I was kind of ashamed. And then one day I was just, I was having a down day and I was praying and crying to God, honestly. And he was like, put it out. Somebody needs to hear it. It might help. It might help somebody. And so backstory about the song it's kind of crazy because I actually wrote the song right before I walked into what I would call my stormy season, that dark season of my life. I think we all go through seasons, you know, you're either in a season, just coming out of one, or getting ready to go into one. And I actually wrote the song, and believe it or not, it manifested like a year later. So last year I got COVID. I got it pretty bad. I was hospitalized for it. I was really sick. You know, I fought it for like 22 days. And there were nights where I didn't think I was going to make it. So as soon as I got better from COVID, literally, like, I think it was a week after I got my first negative test, my dad unexpectedly passed away. It wasn't related to COVID. It was a heart attack. But I mean, 55 years old, you know, it's pretty young. And I didn't know how to deal with that. You can't prepare for something like that. And over the course of last year, we know what happened with the world. It was supposed to be my official launch as a solo artist, you know, and that didn't really happen. So I worked a lot. I picked up some really unhealthy habits, and I'm not talking about drug use or alcohol. I mean, unhealthy habits towards myself. You know, I started treating myself bad. I started knocking myself down, and I just got into this deep depression. And it lasted all year up until the beginning of this year. And unfortunately, part of that as well, at the beginning of this year, I was in a relationship for several years, and out of nowhere, it evaporated. It ended. You know, she left, and she also helped start up and build Awesome Ray Ray, and that spun me into a place that I never thought I would be, where I questioned everything in my entire life. I questioned who I was. You know, I almost didn't really know who I was. And it just took me into a dark place, and I started to get help and therapy for it. And I, you know, decided to write about it and take that song to the studio and talk about it. And in that, it would help somebody, you know, and I credit it all to my faith. You know, I'm sure everybody has different religious beliefs and views, and I'm not here to push any of that on anybody. Live your life. I love everybody. I support everybody. But for me, God had his hand on me, and he pulled me out. And in that process, he was like, hey, you need to put out that song that you wrote, because you wrote the song before, not knowing what you were about to go through. And then now the song actually applied. So there was some divine intervention there, and it needed to come out. And not a lot of people talk about it. I mean, let's be honest here, you know, especially, I'm gonna be real, in the Black community, and as a man, we're not supposed to talk about our problems or feelings. Mental health doesn't exist, all that other stuff. And I think it's worth highlighting. It's real, absolutely real. And we got to take care of ourselves, and we got to take care of our friends and our family, and we got to talk about it. Because there was a point, like I said, you watched the video, there was a point where we might have not had this conversation. There might not have been an Awesome Ray Ray, you know, and I thank God for that. And my kids, you know, they've been absolutely amazing, you know, and they watch the video, and they like it too. And, you know, they don't understand everything, but having their support, that means the world to me. But I just think it's important that people, they get help. If it's available, reach out to people, talk to people. You know, I don't mean just complain about your problems, but I mean, like, really talk about it. Yeah. You know, get the conversation started. We all are going through the same things, whether people are talking about it or not. You know.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree with you. And the thing I loved about this video is that there's a lot of elements. Number one, I loved, you know, in your opening, you know, text that you have that you read out in the video, when it says, God said to me, I'm not done with you, Rayshawn. And I was like, wow. And for some reason, that really hit me hard. You know, it's like, that's like, wow, that's powerful. You know, that was really powerful. And I'm glad that you're still here, that we can have this conversation, you know, about it. And, you know, like, you know, and I will say, and, you know, people who know me and know me well, I've always said, you know, to any of my friends, fans, you know, and people who are listening right now, you know, mental health is so important to everyone, especially in this day and age, especially with COVID. You know, how it really isolated a lot of us, you know, during this time frame, and that, you know, you feel you need help, please reach out to someone and get it. reach out to a friend, a family member, if whether it be, someone in your community, but just don't ever just let that sit and don't ever let it fester. Reach out, get help, please get help. Otherwise, as Awesome Ray said here, we may not literally, based on, go look at this video for yourself. We'll make sure we get this link up and listen to it. This was, to me, Ray, this was such a powerful message. I absolutely love that track for that. This is definitely a winner. And I'm glad you're still here to be able to tell that tale, and that story with it. So thank you for sharing that with us. I greatly appreciate that.
Absolutely. Thank you. I mean, it's helping me, just people watching and listening. Like I said, I put in the video, it wasn't for attention at all whatsoever. It was to help and highlight the issue, because the hardest person out there, your toughest friend, that dude needs help too. He might not say it. They need help, and for those believers out there and those of faith, man, like it's God's real.
I'm absolutely with you 110%. And to me, even if one person who watches this and hears your story and it helps them in some way to be able to get help or look for help or just make a decision not to make the decision that you decided not to make, that to me alone is worth its while.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's funny. That's what God said.
Yeah. You see, there it is right there. Right there.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. But also one of the other things about this track that really also caught me off guard is, your vocals from On the Run obviously are very different than your vocals from Therapy. And number one, I'll always be the first to say, when I hear a beautiful vocalist, I love it. And you have a beautiful voice, especially in that song. So that was definitely very impressive, very impressive. And it's a beautiful song, number one. The message behind it is great. But yeah, your fans, trust me, do not miss Awesome Ray. When you hear this track, you'll be blown away.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I wanted to highlight too that, it is definitely different from On the Run. And I think that's important, because when I first started out dealing with some less than savory managers and booking agent people, they wanted to kind of nail me in place to that On the Run. And I love that Southern rock blues vibe. I got the voice for it, but I'm from a very multicultural area. The DC, Maryland, Virginia area is full of every type of music and culture you could think of. And growing up in that, I'm going to naturally, being a musician, I'm going to naturally rock with different types of music, and different ranges. So Awesome Ray does slide around, and you'll notice that.
And that's okay. I like artists that do that. I appreciate an artist who's like, I'm not going to just put myself in a box, right? And say like, this is just my thing. And there's some artists that works for it, and that's perfectly fine, but I like musicians who want to take a chance and do something different and mix it up a lot and see where it goes, and these are, as you say, these are two completely different, not only like genres, they're completely two different, focuses, two different styles of music. And it's nice to see, how different they are, and they both work very well. So yeah, you're on the right track. I think you got something going here.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, man. I mean, it's the crazy part is it's all in me. People ask, well, who is Awesome Ray? Are you this rock guy or are you this pop and R&B guy? And I'm like, dude, Awesome Ray's got a little bit of everything. Don't be surprised if I cut a bluegrass record. Just know it's gonna be banging.
Right. So yeah, right. So I guess here's the question. So what's next on the docket for you for Awesome Ray? Are we expecting, you're just going to continue to release singles for now? Are we looking at a full album at some point?
I do have a single in the bag right now that's going to come out right before Blue Ridge. And
perfect.
It's probably going to blow your socks off. It's different, but oh man. So I would like to release an album. I actually did an inventory the other day. So right now I have 4 songs that are out, and I have 1 that's in the bag that'll be coming out soon. I have 28 other songs that are not even touched yet. So There's definitely material for an album. I would like to do an album, rather be the end of this year, beginning of next year. But I don't know. We'll have to see.
All right.
It just depends on what happens on this journey, man. But I'm open to all of it. Long as I'm, blessed to keep going, you're gonna hear something.
Yeah. Absolutely. That sounds great. So, I guess tell our fans here, are you currently signed with anyone? Are you unsigned at this time?
I am an unsigned artist at this
Okay.
time.
All right. Well, hopefully that changes soon. Maybe someone will, hopefully maybe someone in Blue Ridge will catch you, and maybe that will change some things. We'll see what happens
And we'll,
there.
we'll
So
see, man. It's all
yeah,
it's all
you never
whatever in the
know,
cards.
right? I mean, you just never know. Like I was talking to another artist just the other day, and it was surprising to see like sometimes how such a small world things are, of how people ended up interconnecting with other people. And the artist was telling me like they got signed to a record label because they played this small show, and it just so happened that their producer happened to be there at the show and saw them. Like, what was the chance, right? And it's small world, you don't know. So we'll see. Best of luck there. So tell our fans a little bit about yourself outside of music. What is it that you like to do for fun? What is it that you do for hobbies and such?
I've been on this getting in shape and being healthy journey, so that's cool.
Cool.
I love to bowl and I love to shoot pool, man. Pool is like my thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I want to get into axe throwing. That looks fun.
That's an interesting, just out of the blue one. Like, I shoot pool. I want to get an axe thrower.
Dude, there's like a couple of these places that just popped up in my area, and I'm watching all these people on social media on Saturday nights, like drinking beer, throwing axes, and I'm like, I kind of want to do that. So.
It's funny you say that, because recently one of our places down here, and I'm in the Orlando area, had something like that, where it's like, here's this, it's kind of like, think of like one of these, almost like a Dave and Buster's type deal, and they suddenly have added axe throwing, and I'm like, when did this come about?
Bro, I am so game. Like, give me a frosty adult beverage. Let's throw some axes.
Axes. There you go. There you go.
Let's see. I'm a volunteer firefighter, so
Really?
as of lately, I've not had a lot of time because of the music career and work to go run at stations and stuff like that. But that is definitely something that I care about. Definitely like helping people. You know what I mean? And I think that's pretty noble. So
How did that come about for you deciding to become a volunteer firefighter?
Several years ago, again, like I said, I have a little bit of background in law enforcement and security. I was changing from one department to another, and one of my buddies was a fireman, and he was like, "Man, you should come down and take the test. Be a volunteer firefighter." And I'm like, no, right? And one day I said, you know what? I'll go down. I'll check it out. I'll see what it's about. And I ran a couple of calls as a ride along, and I'm telling you, the second I sat in that fire engine and we went on our first call, I was bit. Like, I was like, dude, yes, let's do this. And I applied, got accepted, and went to the academy and trained and passed, and got my certifications then, and I ran for a couple of years.
Awesome.
Ran calls. It was great.
That's awesome. Good
A
story.
little bit of scary moments, but part of the job.
It's like I couldn't even fathom. It's like I don't think I know anyone, at least currently today, that's firefighters. But I know some people, who went to law enforcement stuff, and it's like you got to have that heart to want to do that, and that will, to do that type of work. Because you just know you're putting your life on the line every day, because you just never know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought there's something about helping people when they're having the worst day of their life. You know what I mean? And I have a bit of that in me as well. Not the focus anymore, but definitely always there. And when there's time for me to find another department and jump on an engine for a couple of days and help out,
you're on it.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. All right. What other stuff do you want to tell our fans about you?
I love people. I'm a people person, man. I love people. I love watching people go after their dreams, and it's my goal that each and every person watching this today or tonight or wherever you are, don't give up on whatever it is that you really want to do. Give it all you got, and you can make it. You can do it.
All right. So it's like, obviously, if you're like out and doing shows, you're all about, come meet me after, come talk to me. Like, I'm right here. And
oh yes,
yeah,
I'm that guy.
You're like, all right. I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with that as an artist to be that people person that blends very well and mixes so well there.
Oh yeah, man. I vibe off of energies and people, man. So I love it.
I was going to ask, so are you currently doing any tours before, before Blue Ridge comes around? Are you performing anywhere?
I might have a couple of shows booked before Blue Ridge. I got some buddies of mine, like I said, I mentioned Scotty Mack is going to be playing guitar for me. I got a couple other bros that are going to be flying in that are going to be backing me up as my backing band. So
Okay.
we'll probably have, maybe 2 or 3 shows just to get everybody cohesively together, you know. But nothing major before Blue Ridge to my knowledge.
Okay.
But anything could happen. But yeah, I'm really focused on that week and that weekend, man. It's gonna be crazy. I got a tour bus
Cool.
that I own now, so that's gonna be fun. So
Sounds like a
I
plan.
love being. Oh yeah, so I'll definitely be there the whole time, and definitely want to meet everybody, meet as many people as I possibly can.
All right. And that was going to be my next question. So what day do you perform on at the festival?
Saturday, 9/11.
All right. And so on Saturday, the 11th, do you know your time yet?
I do not know my time yet.
All right. So make sure for anyone who's watching, if you're attending the Blue Ridge Rock Festival, that come on Saturday, 9/11, come check out Awesome Ray at his set. And if we're there too, we will definitely come check out your set and see this wonderful performance, because I expect it to be something special. That's for sure. So, and here's the question, considering, you have the, police background and such, and considering that it will be 9/11, do you have anything planned special for, your set yet, in honor of the unfortunate anniversary back from 2001?
Nothing built in. I will definitely say a few words, that's for sure.
Okay.
We're on a very tight schedule time-wise.
Right.
As far as the set goes, like we're held to like 30 minutes or something like that. So I have to move a little quickly, but I'll definitely build in a couple of moments and definitely give respect to everybody that was affected by 9/11. So for sure.
Sounds good. All right. So what final words do you have for the viewers here who are watching today? It's, whether it's about your music, about the festival upcoming, whatever's on your mind.
Let's see. Stay tuned to the photo pit.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely. And it's just going to be a great time. Blue Ridge Rock Fest 2021 is going to be insane. And yeah, let's all get there safely. Let's party and rock out safely, and live your life, live your best life.
All right. So just as a reminder, so everyone can find your music at, what's your website for your music, if anyone wants to come check you out early?
I am on Spotify. Just search Awesome Ray Ray.
Okay.
The best way to get a hold of me or check me out is probably going to be Instagram, which is Awesome Ray Music. That's AWESOMERAYMUSIC. But I'm on all streaming platforms. Literally, just type in Awesome Ray Ray on Google and you'll find me. I'm kind of hard to miss, there's only one.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, my website's a little outdated, so I'm working on that. But I mean, let's be honest here. In today's day and age, everything's on social media. So I'm on Snapchat, I'm on Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, you name the platform. I'm on TikTok right now. I got a TikTok. So, and it is Awesome Ray Music.
I've not gone there yet and may not ever. So
yeah, I'll be honest with you. My kids got me hooked on it. So
All right. So right, for our fans and viewers who are watching, just make sure you go check out Awesome Ray Ray, and I'll find him at all of his socials. Listen to his music. If you see something on his shop, pick up some merch, because that's how we help to support our artists. Right, that's a big thing for them. Tickets and merch are always big, so please make sure you're helping to support your artists there. Remember, Ray Ray will be playing at the Blue Ridge Rock Festival. The festival runs from September the 9th to the 12th, 2021, and that he will be playing on September the 11th. That's Saturday. So, Awesome Ray Ray, thank you so much for your time today. I greatly appreciate it, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you at the Blue Ridge Rock Festival, and hopefully fans get to see you not only there, but in the future down the road on a tour somewhere.
Absolutely, they will.
All right, sounds good. Thanks so much for your time today. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you.